that tough time of year. You just don't know what you're going to be faced with when you step out of the door. Yes, it is autumn, or should I say fall, for our American friends. Well, I struggle to know what to wear at the best of times, whether that's dressing for work or going out for dinner, etc. Add changeable weather into the mix, and well, that takes it to a whole nother level. So I'm pleased to say that today I've got the help of GCN Español's Maya. So Maya, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Heather. Thanks for having me. Yes, I agree with you. Autumn is really hard for changing, especially in the bike, because you cannot change of clothes.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're going to be bringing you a guide, thanks to our friends and partners over at Assos, on what to wear for autumn riding.
Dressing for the unknown? What's the solution? Layers.
Yeah, you've got plenty of options at this time of year. And the great thing is, you don't actually have to make that call before heading out the door, and you don't have to have a support car or a trailer with you. So let's say it depends on obviously where you live to a certain extent, but an Indian summer isn't unheard of. So if the weather is nice, or you're just going for a short, punchy lunchtime ride, then you're going to want to keep things light and simple.
A short sleeve jersey and a pair of shorts will do the job. But to ensure you are prepared for the changing conditions in the climate, it's good to have a sleeveless underneath layer like a skin foil. Because if it's chilly like in the morning, it will keep your body temperature warmer, and if the sun comes out, it will help your body to wick out the sweat in your...
Yeah, exactly. So, and also if you're going out early in the morning and it's a bit fresher, you might just want a little bit more. If you're going out before the sun comes up, then that's when you might want something like arm warmers and leg warmers. They just protect your skin and take that chill off. And the best part is they can easily be removed as you warm up. So you can peel them off even whilst you're riding. Now, a trick with the arm warmers and leg warmers, it's not a good look, but it's a good idea to actually pop them on before you put on your shorts and your jersey, just so that it makes sure that they fit really nice and flush. And then once you want to take them off, they'll go small enough that it can actually fit into your jersey pocket. Now, personally, I tend to use arm warmers at the first sight of autumn and keep my legs free. And then when it gets a little bit colder, I then add in the leg warmers.
Back to the core. This is the area that makes the most difference, because once it gets too hot or too cold, it takes a long time to stabilize it. So bring on the vest or the gilet. It really makes a difference. It's my favorite piece of wardrobe.
Yeah, it's great. And if you do start to get a little bit too hot, then you can always open it up at the front, and you can actually take it off, as most of them will actually fit small enough into your pocket. That's as long as your pockets aren't too full of snacks already.
The level up on clothing or down in temperature is to wear a long sleeve jersey like this. The only thing is, once you're on the bike, you cannot change options. What you can is wear a layer underneath and just take it off and put it in your pocket.
And now, one of the situations that we haven't actually talked about, which sadly is quite likely in the autumn, is the rain. And that's partly because Maya and myself both do our best to avoid it, but sometimes you just do have to go out and ride in the rain, or maybe you're caught short. So it's a good idea to have a lightweight waterproof jacket. And you can normally find ones that are small enough to actually go into your back pocket. Or if you don't have a jacket, or you don't want to carry anything that heavy, then a waterproof gilet will do a good job of at least keeping your core dry and keeping your morale high until you can get home and have a hot shower. Right, we've covered the key pieces, but we also need to consider the peripheries. And one of my favourite pieces of kit is the headband, as it's great if it's a little bit hot, because you can wear it further up on your head and it acts to keep the sweat out of your eyes. And if it gets a bit chillier, you can pull it down to cover your ears, and it just stops that draft from the wind. And then sticking with the head, sunglasses are also really useful. Even in the winter, if you can go for some clear lens ones, because they'll protect your eyes from the mud and the water and spray coming off the road. And then if you are riding at either end of the day, you can get that really low light in the autumn, and it's quite hard to see. So it's a good idea if you're doing sunset or sunrise rides to have a pair of sunglasses as well.
When it comes to hands, I personally try to avoid wearing gloves as much as I can, because I like to feel the brakes of my bike.
Yeah, but in the autumn, you quite often want a little bit of protection. So if you want something in between, I personally opt for the fingerless gloves.
Yeah, and I always bring an extra pair of gloves in my bag in case it gets really cold.
And then it's your feet. And in the autumn, I'd say you can usually rely on just a good enough pair of socks to keep your feet warm. But if you are going to be riding in the colder temperatures or a lot in the rain, it's probably worth investing in a pair of overshoes, especially if you plan on riding well into the winter months.
Yeah, it's also a good idea to get a saddle bag for all those extra layers, so you can free your pockets and put more stuff in. And because of the light, it's getting shorter, it's really important to get some lights on your bike, so you don't get caught up in the dark.
Well, with a little bit of forward planning, checking the forecast and utilising your layers, you should be able to enjoy some wonderful riding well into the autumn.
And don't forget, if you liked this video, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, clicking on the globe. And if you want to see a video of how to do training on the bike, click down here.
And if you want to see the GTN Zwift Challenge with the Charles Barkley team, you can find that just down here.